The Owain Glyndŵr pub on St John Street in Cardiff is one of the city's oldest. It's welcomed drinkers for many generations. The Goat Major and the City Arms also add to the rich history of Cardiff's bars.
Over the last 10 years alone, 60 pubs in Cardiff have had to be closed. But sadly, the problem isn't entirely localised to the capital. Here in Newport, many other pubs have also been forced to close their doors. One such example is this, the King's Arms. We spoke to a previous owner of the property who told us that after the building was demolished by fire in 1995, he decided not to refurbish the building simply because he wouldn't make a return on his debt by running it as a pub. So what are South Wales's breweries and microbreweries doing to try and stop the problem, and how are they trying to get pubs such as the King's Arms open for business again?
Newport-based Tiny Rebel are currently putting the finishing touches to their new brewery, which will vastly increase production. They've only been trading for 1 month and have already bought their first pub. Their solution is to help by establishing their own chain.
The big goal is to obviously sell our beer, but the goal is to get our own bars, pubs, to be able to put our beer in, but not just our beer. Our perception of beer is not to have just your beer in our pubs, to have every other beer that you can, just other beers that are good beers, so you can bring that experience to the punters, really.
Brian Lee has lived in Cardiff all his life and has written nearly 30 books on its history. He remembers the traditional pub being very different to what it is today.
We went to the Three Arches and it was more like a club than a pub, because before you got to the bar you must have had 3 or 4 conversations with different people, you know, and those days seem to have certainly changed now forever.
Microbrewers are now taking it on themselves to give the pub scene a new identity. The King's Arms in Penturk is the 4th property bought by Otley Breweries. Their aim is to keep the traditional pub alive by continuing to sell their unique ale.
I think it's really important that Otley has its own kind of outlets to try out new ideas, to see how the public responds to the flavour profiles that we put into our beers. It's a direct route to market. You're not relying on a third person to give you feedback on your product, so you know straight away how your product's being received.
Well, it certainly is a case of going from one extreme to the other. The King's Arms here in Penturk is far from the run-down pub that's had its door closed to the public for the last 10 years, but rather it's now at the centre of the real ale revolution in Wales. This is Tom Lewis for CJS News in Penturk.